I am Bharatish, and I have with me Dr. Sanjeev Rao today. The purpose of today's session is to understand and to clear some myths, some doubts, some confusion, some worries, our staff, our employees, our colleagues are having regarding COVID-19 vaccination. So we'll be talking to Dr. Sanjeev Rao to clear those myths, those worries, those questions, whatever you have, whatever you may have in mind to ask to get it clarified. So on your behalf, I will be speaking to Dr. Sanjeev Rao. Welcome to the program, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
As I said, sir, this is to understand, to tell our staff that how safe and how good to get vaccinated with this new vaccine what we have, and we'll be taking within half an hour time of yours to just understand how it goes by. To begin with, sir, can I ask you, what is the purpose of taking this vaccination, the basic aspect? What is the purpose?
So basically vaccines are meant to boost up our immunity. When we start with the vaccination, the primary idea is to, we call it as prime the immunity. Immunity na be prepared. When we know the enemy, it is easy to fight. So what we are trying to do is trying to boost up our immunity, make our immunity recognize the virus so that we are prepared for the infection. If at all we get infected, before we develop symptoms, the infection is taken care of.
Okay.
So that is the purpose of vaccination. So vaccination, primary purpose is prevention, not the treatment.
Fair enough. Okay. The next question is it mandatory to take this vaccination?
As far as COVID vaccine is concerned, the government has made it voluntary. So there is no force on anybody that they should compulsorily take it. But in the interest of our health, in the interest of our well-being and preventing infections, especially the serious form of infections, it is advisable to take it.
Because why I ask this question is, this is what the common question, all of our employees been asking me, or I'm sure people would have asked you also, that why is it mandatory? It's not a mandatory thing, it's a voluntary.
It is voluntary.
But it's good if they take, because...
Definitely, because we, especially the hospital and the healthcare workers being the frontline warriors in this COVID, it is better for our immunity to be good, immunity to be prepared for this virus rather than take the risk. So though there is no compulsion that we have to take it, it is not mandatory, it is advisable, it is good for our own sake to be vaccinated.
Yes, thank you for that. Will the vaccine be safe as it is being tested and introduced in a short span of time?
So basically what has been done is in the first phase 1 and phase 2 trials and phase 3 also, the safety of the vaccine has been the primary importance. So probably all of us would have heard that this was an emergency approval. Mm-hmm. Emergency approval, what do we mean by that? What is the purpose? So what we are looking at is, in any vaccine for that matter, we are looking at two components. One is the safety component, the next is the efficacy. So before a vaccine is introduced into the market, any general vaccine, we want to ensure both safety, efficacy, both.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, yes, both are important, there is no doubt, but more importance is given to the safety part of it.
Mm-hmm.
The efficacy maybe 60%, 70% or 90%, whatever, that follows. But the thing is that as long as it is safe, there is no harm in taking the vaccines. The approval comes through.
Okay.
So this is what has happened with this case also.
Okay. Can someone having COVID-19, who's been tested positive recently, who's been currently infected, still tested positive, can be vaccinated with this vaccine?
So like I told before, vaccination, the primary idea is to prime the immunity to the virus.
Right.
So somebody who has already been exposed to the infection, somebody who is having an active infection, there is no advantage in giving the vaccine. There may not be any harm, but there is no advantage at all. So if at all the person has already developed immunity to this coronavirus, there is no point in vaccination.
Okay, means what I understand is that it may not be necessary for a COVID recovered person to take this vaccine.
A person with an active infection, no. A person with who has recovered from COVID.
Okay.
Again, it is not yet established whether it is advisable to give or not. Better to do an antibody level testing.
Right.
If he has an adequate level of antibodies, there is no need. If the antibody levels are low, then better to go ahead with the vaccination.
Right. Another common thing which we come across is, which we've been hearing since a few days, since we are in the process of procuring this vaccination and getting vaccinated. Can someone who presently have a fever or a flu or a common cold or body ache, cough, etc., are they eligible to get vaccinated?
In general, not limiting ourselves to this COVID vaccine, any viral infection, or even if the person has taken any vaccine against any viral disease, they may not mount an adequate response.
Okay.
If I give a vaccine to somebody who has received a viral vaccine very recently, somebody who is just recovering from a fever or a viral infection, his immune response may not be as good as it is supposed to be.
Right.
So the vaccine will become less effective.
Right.
So it is better to postpone vaccine by a few weeks and then take it.
Oh, okay. Basically, it is for the efficacy of that.
For the efficacy, not for the safety. Efficacy.
I understand. So, just to clear the the area here, ಇದು ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಈ program, it is purely for our employees' sake, because the questions ಅಥವಾ ಏನು ನನಗೆ queries ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, it is from our employees. So ಹಾಗಾಗಿ this particular session is limited to our staff, and even though it's in a common platform, so I would request that just keep it to that. But if you have any questions, somebody would like to ask, you can take them, post on behalf of them. But I'm speaking on behalf of all of our employees to Dr. Sanjay Rao to clear these myths. Okay, so going forward, again we've been hearing a lot about this, can a person who gets vaccinated will end up having heart attack, or will end up having any neuro issues, or will end up having vision issues, something like that?
Yeah, so basically there has been a lot of apprehension on this regard, especially since very recently 2 people died of heart attack post vaccination. But what we should remember is, in both the instances, they were about 59-60 years. Both of them had pre-existing problems, diabetes and all these things. So there is no direct correlation between this vaccine and the heart attacks.
Right.
As far as the heart attack is concerned, so probably if you look at the data today across the India, more than 6 lakh plus, or probably even more, have been vaccinated at this point. Okay, so going by that, it is the safety, there is no doubt about this.
Okay.
As far as the neuro issues are concerned, there were a certain few concerns in the trial stage, but subsequently during the analysis it was ruled out that it was not related to the vaccine.
Right.
So I think that the apprehension about having neurological problems or having heart related issues, I think it is a little exaggerated.
Right. Okay. I think so that part is very clear, that this vaccination will not or may not have any link directly with those
instances
eventualities, basically. Okay, fine. What are the possible side effects of COVID-19 vaccines?
So basically, when we are looking at this, few side effects have been reported, and again these are common to any of these vaccines, because we have experience throughout childhood in the vaccines kodta bartirtivi. There are multiple vaccines that people have received. So similar to them, there may be some local site pain, injection site pain, what we call. There may be fever, there may be body ache that may last for usually 1 to 2 days, definitely not more than that. There may be a little dizziness. If a person is allergic to any component of the vaccine, he may have an allergy. So most of these are limited, and especially they say that local site pain, mild body pain, fever, that can be present in about 1%. 1 to 10%, but definitely fever, body pain and flu-like symptoms, it is much lesser, it's in less than 1%.
Right. Thank you. So though I know that we don't have a choice here, just to clear the air, this Covishield, the product which has been given to us, is it as good as any other vaccine today available for the COVID-19 disease?
Definitely. If I can just elaborate a little into more of a technical point here. Covishield is something that has been given not just in India. It has been approved in UK. It has been approved across multiple countries, especially the Indian version, Indian produced also. As far as the other vaccines that have been approved, including this, what is commonly used in US, I'll come to US because people have a tendency to believe that is superior.
Right.
So Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines have been approved there. But issue we need to remember is both Pfizer and Moderna vaccine, they use a technique called as the mRNA technique. Mm-hmm. And so far in the last few decades, whatever we have been vaccinating our kids with, mm-hmm. this mRNA technique is the new one, untested mm-hmm. one. It is the first time it is being used. Mm-hmm. Whereas this Covishield, that is the adenovirus vector vaccine, or our Covaxin, Bharat Biotech Covaxin, mm-hmm. which is an inactivated coronavirus vaccine, it has been tried in different viral infections. Mm-hmm. So the technique is not new. The virus is new, but the technique is the same. Right. That has been established. Right. Pfizer and Moderna vaccine, the total technology itself is new.
Right. Okay.
So definitely this is safer.
So friends, it is it's very clear that it is as good as any other vaccine. So don't worry about that. What kind of product you have got. It's a vaccine which is been certified as one of the best here. Now, the other one, sir, is which is again we come across very common aspect is if someone is taking medications for illness like NCDs, basically, let's say cancer or diabetes or hypertension drugs, somebody is taking medicine for tachycardia, neuro, etc., basically the NCDs. Can they also go and get vaccinated for this?
Sir, at this stage, let's group into two categories now. Hypertensive medicines, diabetes, heart problem related medicines. These people can safely take the vaccine.
Okay, what are those?
No, any other. I'll come back to that. I'll put it the other way around. Okay, people on cancer chemotherapy or people on any other immunosuppressants, post kidney transplant, people are on immunosuppressants, which suppresses our resistance power or the immunity. People with diseases like HIV where their immunity is already suppressed, it is better for those category of people to avoid this.
Okay.
Because both the vaccines that are available in India, the Covishield as well as the Covaxin, both are viral vector vaccines.
Right.
They use either an inactivated virus or an alternate virus to carry this to vaccinate.
Okay.
So anybody with an immunosuppression is advised not to take a what is called live attenuated vaccine, live viral vaccines.
Okay.
So the medical term here used is live attenuated vaccine or viral vector vaccines. Anybody with an immunosuppression, not just for COVID, all live attenuated or viral vector vaccines they have to avoid. Okay. And this is across, not specifically for COVID.
Like another one is, now there are geriatric vaccination programs, which is it's now coming into more popular way of getting it promoted. Now, someone is who's vaccinated for, let's say, for some other purpose. So, can be advised that COVID vaccine should be taken with a gap, or they can go ahead and take together?
Yeah, the same thing like I said with the fever. Once a person is exposed to a viral vaccine, especially if it's a viral, the immune response may not be adequate. So better to give a gap of about 4 weeks.
4 weeks. Okay.
Ideally within 24 hours or after 4 weeks.
Okay. And that applies same thing to someone who's having cold or a flu or common, etc. So give a gap of 4 weeks. Okay. I think that's very clear. What is the dose of this vaccination, sir? This particular.
So both the vaccines, they are scheduled to be taken in 2 doses, 4 weeks apart. So we give the first dose, wait for about 4 weeks, give the second dose.
It's very straightforward. There's no booster dose, something like in this.
So far, because of the early, we don't know the requirement for the booster dose. But going by the previous experiences, probably once in 2 years, the booster or 3 years, a booster may be required. It depends on how the immunity responds over time.
Okay. I think that's very clear. So, the most important thing is the whole purpose of this vaccination to develop the antibodies in the individual. So ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಂದರೆ the antibodies which get developed on the day one of this vaccination, or will it take some time, or it's after the second dose, or it's not clarity. So when would a person who's vaccinated tend to develop the antibodies? ಯಾವಾಗ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ antibodies ಬರುತ್ತೆ?
ಸೊ ಜನರಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, there is two doses ಯಾಕೆ ಕೊಡೋದು ಅಂದರೆ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರೈಮಿಂಗ್ ಡೋಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಅವರ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡಿಂಗ್, ಡೆವಲಪ್ಸ್ ಎ ಲೋ ಲೆವೆಲ್ immunity. Okay. And when the second dose is given, this low level immunity is built up upon. So it's only after the second dose, few days after the second dose. Generally we say 2 to 4 weeks. After the second dose, that immunity is good. So till then, irrespective of the timing, irrespective of the dosage, I think the first dose vaccine is not adequate. We have to wait for the second dose. We have to wait 2 to 4 weeks after the second dose to say that person is immune.
ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತು ನಾನು ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಹಾಕ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ 8 weeks
at least 6 to 8 weeks.
So provided I take the second dose after
Exactly.
4 weeks.
Exactly.
So from today's date you have to wait for that 4 weeks, take a vaccine, second dose at the end of 4th week. ನಂತರ ಆ ಕಡೆ 4 weeksಗೆ you start to develop the vaccine antibodies.
Absolutely.
That's all. So basically from the day 1 to 8 weeks later you can start seeing the data. So that's common for all, or did it prolong for anyone else?
It is most of the people vaccinated will have this.
ಅದೇ ಥರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Okay.
Again, only thing we have to remember is it again depends on the individual's immune response.
Oh, okay.
Now, if I give a example, going back to the hepatitis vaccine, hepatitis B vaccine anta kodthivi, we give it in 3 doses. 80% of the people, these 3 doses will be adequate.
Right.
But there are non-responders. Even after 3 doses, their antibody levels will not be adequate to tackle the infection.
Right, sir.
So that's a small minority population. Right. So this can be true of any vaccine.
And this antibodies once they get, it's a lifelong, ಅಥವಾ ಇದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷ ಅಂತ ಬೂಸ್ಟರ್ ಡೋಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಆ ಥರ?
ಅದೇ ಈಗ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ನ್ಯೂ ವೈರಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನೋ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ 1 year ದ ವೈರಲ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಸೊ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ವೆದರ್ ಎ ಬೂಸ್ಟರ್ ಡೋಸ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್. ಬಟ್ ಈಗ ಕೋವಿಡ್ನ ನಾವು ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ 2 ಕೊರೋನಾ ವೈರಸ್ ಔಟ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಸ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್.
ಹೌದು.
ಸಾರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇನ್ ಸಮ್ವೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ 2003 ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮಿಡ್ಲ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ಸಿಂಡ್ರೋಮ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ, ಪ್ರಾಬಬಲಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ 8-9 years ಬ್ಯಾಕ್. So ಇದೆರಡು both were coronavirus itself. So going by their responses, I think probably it is clear the immunity lasts at least for about 2 to 3 years.
Okay. ಈ different kind of streams ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, whether it is a UK stream or it is a Japan stream, or whichever stream they talk about now, this vaccination holds good for those any kind of streams also?
Yeah, so far they claim, the company, whatever the data they have, they claim that these vaccines are adequate to cover them.
Okay. So ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಇನ್ನೂ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನೇಷನ್ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ,
ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಏನು ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, at least for now.
Good. How do we know that ನಮಗೆ ನೀವು 8 weeks ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತೀರಾ? So how do one know that he or she has antibodies in their body?
The only way is to get the antibody level tested.
Antibody level tested. Okay, so that's a simple test.
That's a simple test which we.
So that will confirm you have an antibody.
Yes.
So, okay.
But most of the times we depend on the data available. ಅಂದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಫೇಸಲ್ಲಿ, ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಫೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ದೇ ನೋ ದಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಕೋವಿಶೀಲ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ 70%, ಕೋವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ 80% ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಡ್ ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದರ್ ಆಂಟಿಬಾಡಿ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. So we know that if you are vaccinating 100 people, at least 70 to 80 of them will develop immunity.
Oh, okay. Okay. Dr. Munsa, we've been hearing about this also. ಈ ಡೋಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಡೋಸ್ ಹಾಫ್ ಡೋಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ the impact will be much better ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಲೈಕ್ 0.5 ml ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ಹಾಫ್ ಡೋಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ.
ಅದು it has not been definitely established. Okay. So what happened was, one of the trial centers in UK, by mistake they gave the half dose in the first schedule.
Same drug, same.
And we said Covishield ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, one center instead of giving 0.5 ml they gave 0.25 ml. Subsequently second dose they realized and gave 0.5 ml. Okay, so it was first 0.25 followed by 0.5. Rest all they gave 0.5 and 0.5. So only this particular center the efficacy was found to be above 90%.
Okay.
So there was a doubt, and what has happened because of this, the Oxford has gone back to the trial room and is again conducting a study But this data has been limited to one center with a small population. This 0.5 and 2 doses, whatever data we have, is much across in a much bigger population.
Okay.
So for now, it is recommended to take the whatever data is available in the larger population, 0.5 ml, 0.5 ml, 2 doses.
Sir, one the common thing which I also hear from our colleagues, from our employees, is that which I don't have an answer, which I would request you to put across, is that ಏನಂದರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಹೆಂಗಿದ್ರು ಕೇಸ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಏನೋ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮೊದಲ ಥರ ಕೇಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು 100ರಲ್ಲಿ 1-2 ಮಾತ್ರ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ಅಥವಾ ದ ವೇ ವಿ ಸಿ ದ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೇ ಮೈಸೂರು ಅಕ್ರಾಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೇಟು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಹರ್ಡ್ ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಬಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು, ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ಇವಾಗ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನೇಷನ್ ಹಾಕ್ಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಏನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ನನಗೆ? ಇದೊಂದು ಕಾಮನ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಮ್ಮ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿಚ್ ಐ ಕೀಪ್ ಹಿಯರಿಂಗ್. ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಸೇ ಫಾರ್ ಇಟ್?
Okay, let us look at it this way. If you are looking at the present, maybe about 100 test ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, what is the guarantee that one person is not? Okay, so I think we have to approach it that way. And second point ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, again the same question what we had initially also. They said that mortality is less than 2%, 1.5%. So 1000 ಜನರಲ್ಲಿ 15 ಜನ ಸಾಯ್ತಾರೆ, 100 ಜನರಲ್ಲಿ just about 2 people, less than 2 people. So 98% are going to recover. Well, 98% will recover, but ಆ 2% ಯಾರು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. We have had people, young people dying. We have seen young people, even if they don't die, they suffer for months together. I have had people saying that 6 months ಆದರೂ ಬಾಡಿ ಪೇನ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಸುಸ್ತು ಹೋಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬ್ರೆತ್ಲೆಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇದೆ. We don't know ಯಾರು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ. So it is better to be safe than sorry.
Okay. So it's though there is the situation, current situation may be that there are much cases in the society, in the geography where we are or wherever, but it is advisable
Definitely
you take, because that percentage can be anybody.
And second thing is, we don't know when again this second wave can come.
Okay.
We have seen that US, UK, Europe, it's in a grip of very bad second wave where the lockdown has been extended, I think UK even up to March or June. So there are a lot of concerns there. A lot of my friends working there, they are reporting that the ICUs again, which had come down initially from 10-12 admissions per day to less than 1 admissions in a day, it is now back to full.
Okay, so another common thing which comes across to everybody, let's say that now trends nodaga we are behind the Western countries in terms of this pandemic thing, at least 1 month 2 months ಹಿಂದೆ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಆ ವಿಷಯಕ್ಕೆ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನೇಷನ್ ಹಾಕ್ಸ್ಕೋತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸೇ ದೆನ್ 8 ವೀಕ್ಸ್ ನಂತರ ಆ್ಯಂಟಿಬಾಡೀಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಸೊ ಬೈ ಚಾನ್ಸ್, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕೇರ್ ವರ್ಕರ್ಸ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಬಿನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್, ಟಚ್ ವುಡ್ ಬೇಡ. ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವೇವ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಔಟ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂದರೆ, ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನೇಟೆಡ್ ಟುಡೇ ಆರ್ ಸೇಫ್, will be safe, can be consider themselves to be safe during that possible second wave coming, 8 weeks or whatever period?
Definitely, but now I would like to emphasize on 2 aspects here. One aspect is that no vaccination, okay, ಇದು ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಒಂದೇ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, whatever we have taken before, no vaccination will say that 100% you are not going to get infected.
Okay.
Even if the person, small chance a person gets infected, it's likely that they will develop a very mild form of the disease, recover fast.
Oh, okay.
Recovery is also faster. Okay, that is one point. Second point, again, it will depend on the kind of the virus that infects.
Right.
Iga so far we have got 2 mutations. UK lo ondide, I think Brazil lo ಒಂದು recently reported, South Africa lo ide. So this kind of a mutation, it is going on. Unfortunately, there is a significant major mutation that happens. God forbid. But if at all that were to happen, okay, then the risk is more. Okay. So yathik ನಾನು ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಅಂದರೆ, ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಚುಯೇಷನ್, ಗಿವನ್ ದ ಸಿಚುಯೇಷನ್ ಅಕ್ರಾಸ್ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಟುಡೇ, this vaccine is effective, it is going to protect us. Let there be no doubt.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that we have to let down our guard. Because being healthcare professionals, we will be handling the patients. So what is important is to maintain, wear the mask, whatever the precautions we have been taking over so many months, continue with them.
Okay. So point is very clear that if somebody has a doubt that I'm getting vaccinated today, 8 weeks later or 2 months later, whenever if at all there is a possibility of second wave in India, if at all, touch wood is not required, but in case if there is then somebody is vaccinated today will have a likely lesser chances of getting infected, even if they get infected. Kammi, rate alli infection agutte. So the answer is straight and very clear that vaccination will be the only answer to protect individuals. Right, sir. Thank you. A common thing which is again we keep hearing that why is that COVID-19 vaccine chosen for healthcare workers? Though it's a straightforward, it's known answer, but still, namge ಏನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು?
ಇದು 2 points. One is that one is the government mandated for one particular reason. ಯಾತಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ we are the frontline workers getting exposed to the virus. So the highest risk is for healthcare workers.
Correct.
Second point, we have to remember that it is not one patient, two patients. There may be a family of 5 members, out of which 2 or 3 develop. The others take precautions, and then these are the people they are exposed to. Randomly, if you go across for a non-healthcare worker, somebody who is working outside, the number of patients, the number of viruses he is exposed to, viral infected patients is much lesser.
Right.
But healthcare workers, we get exposed, we get repeatedly exposed, we get exposed on daily basis.
Correct.
So, and again, it has been proven that more the exposure, higher the viral load, the greater the risk of death and other complications.
Correct, sir.
So, in this regard, considering that we have to be the first targets for vaccination, we have to be protected first, and the government has made this decision.
Thank you. Good, sir. Now, which is a common thing across. So once I'm vaccinated, down the line 8 weeks, I'm fine. So is that, I'm completely immune from getting infected? I don't have to be wearing masks and maintain social distance? Or is that necessary and mandatory that I still continue to do that what I'm doing today?
Definitely, like I said before, vaccine helps, it prevents severe form of infections. It helps in a faster recovery, no doubt, but it does not mean that 100% I'm not going to get infected. It may be much milder form which you may or may not realize, a light fever, light body pain, and then goes off. What is equally important is that, like I said, as far as the masks are concerned, the barriers are concerned, that should continue.
Right.
So we have to be cautious, we have to take the precautions, there is no letdown, but only thing is that we can be more confident about ourselves and our immunity.
Right. So friends, the message is very clear that we being the healthcare workers, we being the front line, the responsibility on us, ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ, ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಏನಿದೆ, ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋದು ಈ ಸಿಚುವೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ, ಈ ಪ್ಯಾಂಡಮಿಕ್ ಸಿಚುವೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ if you look at our patient and the bed availability or the patient and healthcare worker availability ratio it's not up to the mark of global standards. From that point of view, ನಮ್ಮ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಏನಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಫಸ್ಟು ಹುಷಾರಾಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೆಡಿಕ್ಸ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಹೌಸ್ ಕೀಪಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್, all of them are responsible, are very much necessary to take care of the public who if at all the second wave hits or whatever, or even if it doesn't also, it's in their interest that healthcare warriors now first we should get vaccinated, so we are ready to, in case if any situation comes in, that there is a plan for in the coming phases. Government will vaccinate the public, and there will be much more liberal plans or kind of activities coming from them. ಆದರೆ ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ responsibility, the government has chosen the healthcare workers to be vaccinated in the first phase. There's a obvious purpose, reason behind it. As I said, vaccination ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ನಮಗೆ chances of getting infected will be lesser than others. Even if there is infection, then it will be a mild one, a step. So this is advantage of getting the vaccination. And you also heard from him on the side effects of getting this vaccination. ಈ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನೇಷನ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಸೈಡ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ you also heard the benefits of it. So the message is loud and clear that when it is available for us, there are plenty of people, a lot of population in this country still looking for this vaccination, but you are the lucky one being chosen to get vaccinated. So take that opportunity and make sure that you're vaccinated. If you're vaccinated, congratulations. By the way, Dr. Sanjay Rao himself was the first one to take the vaccination today, so I congratulate you for that, sir. So he is safe, he is in front of you. It's almost 10 hours since he is vaccinated. is safe and is perfectly fine, no issues, no fever, no pain. He is advising you. All of them are safe. There are no any reaction, any adverse reactions as far as any of our employees are concerned. So it's in our own interest, and it's in the interest of the society, interest of our patients who are depending on us for healthcare services. Sir, any other advice you would like to give to our employees from
Yeah, exactly. Like sir said, what is important is that we should be healthy, strong enough to handle and give care to others. And again, just giving an example, I'll give a small anecdotal. People who have traveled by flights will know this. The announcement they make. Okay, if the pressure in the cabin drops, there will oxygen mask will drop, and wear it like this. But then the next sentence that is, first wear it yourself before helping others.
Correct.
So we healthcare workers are in the similar situation. We need to be healthy. We need to protect ourselves so that we can take care of others. It may not just be the COVID. So there are a lot of people requiring us. Lot of diseases we know we have been handling so far. So our work, our services are important to the patients, to our families. So it is very important that we maintain our health, being the frontline exposed for this corona infection. It is very important that we protect ourselves, and vaccination is the first step in this regard. So we should be prepared. If there is any hesitation, I think probably this by now it should have been cleared. Okay. If anything is there, please feel free to approach, to clarify, but don't be under myths. Don't go by what lot of false rumors are being spread on the social media.
Correct, sir. Sir, one point I forgot to cover is this regarding the contraindications of this vaccination. And before we close, just can you highlight it?
Yeah, exactly. Basically, two categories of contraindications again. One, people who are less than 18 years of age, or people who are pregnant or likely to get, planning for pregnancy in the short term, people who are feeding their babies, it is better to avoid the vaccine. Again, like I said before, people on immunosuppressants, post-renal transplant, cancer chemotherapy, HIV, these category of patients need to avoid. Second category of patients is people who are allergic to the vaccine components, people who are who are having bleeding tendencies, people who are on blood thinners, anticoagulants, what we call acetylcholine, warfarin, or any other anticoagulant for that matter, because the moment we inject into the muscle, there may be hematoma formation there. So that is the only reason why it is advised for them not to take the vaccine, any intramuscular injection, including this vaccine. So only these are the existing contraindications. There are no other contraindications. So other than these people, everybody else can safely take the vaccine.
Just got one more query. They say that after taking this vaccination, even if it is after 8 weeks, if you develop antibodies or whichever situation, is there a chance of getting infected even despite getting vaccinated?
Like I said before, there is no 100% protection saying that nobody is going to get infected. No, there is nothing like that for any vaccine across. Whether you have taken, you must have handled DPT, taken yourself or given to your kids. You must have taken oral polio vaccines, all these things. There is no 100% protection in anything. Only thing is that if you are immune to it, you are likely to develop a milder form of the disease. You are going to recover from this disease much faster. So that is the advantage of being vaccinated.
While we're ending, there are a few questions coming across. There is one query. Doctor, post-vaccination, there is a slight numbness and myalgia. Will this continue or will it be okay? Please advise.
Definitely, most of these symptoms, like I said before, last for less than 24 to 48 hours. So it is not going to be there for much longer. And again, please remember, if you have vaccinated yourself or your kids or any near ones with the DPT, which is one of the oldest vaccines that is being that we know of. Okay, even then the kids develop the local pain, they develop fever for a day or two. So this is common with most of the vaccines, nothing exclusive. So don't worry.
Well, there is one more question, though we answered the question, but still putting across for the benefit of the person who has put this. He says, sir, I got COVID already. I'm still at risk. Will I get it again? I don't want to take vaccination.
So definitely it depends on when you have got it, what your antibody titers are, So if your antibody titers are good enough, yes, there is no need for a vaccination. But remember again, people who have been vaccinated, who have developed immunity, we still advise a booster dose. So taking a vaccine is only going to boost up your immunity, it is not going to harm. Okay. So again, like I said, it is not mandatory, it is voluntary. I would recommend check your antibody levels. Yes, if it has been more than 4 months or 5 months since you got infected, no harm in taking the vaccine. You will definitely benefit. The choice is yours.
See, just to add to what Sir said, you know what, it's now or we don't know when. Now, now maybe you have this doubt or query, you might have decided not to go for a vaccination. And the day you really decide that you want a vaccination, this will not be available across the shelf. ನಮ್ದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಫಾರ್ಮಸಿಲಿ ತೊಗೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅವೈಲಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನೋ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ಯಾವಾಗ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ, ಯಾವಾಗ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಇವಾಗ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತು ನೀವು ನಾಳೆ ನನಗೆ ಬೇಕು, ನಮ್ಮದು ನಾಳೆ ಇನ್ನು 2 ಡೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೋ ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೋ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. 5ನೇ ದಿವಸ ಬಂದುಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸರ್ ನನಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನೇಷನ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಲೂ ಕೊಡಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. So if you want to decide, you want to take, you want to do not delay. I mean, ತಗೋಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ನಾಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಈ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಲ್ಲೇ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಸರ್, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್, ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಅದರ್ ಫಿಸಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್, ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಬಟ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ರಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಲೇಟರ್.
Sir, and one more just to add up to this question, please remember lot of cases where COVID reinfection also has been reported. ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಬಂದವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ 2ನೇ ಸಲ ಆಗಿರೋದು, in few instances a 3rd time ಆಗಿರೋದು, all these have been reported. So just because you have got and recovered from COVID doesn't mean that you are safe, 100% safe. It is better to be vaccinated.
Any other questions? So I think almost all the points have been covered, and there's a message is loud and clear for all of us. So follow. It's again, the choice is with you. I mean, as I said, as Doctor also said in the beginning, it is not a mandatory thing that you have to take vaccination or you have to be vaccinated. But it's an optional one. It's something on voluntary basis. Few more questions, sir, before we end. One of the employee who's taken the vaccination today, feeling nausea, vomiting, and feverish. Is it normal? How long will it persist? Do we have to take any medication?
Yeah, just routine medication for Dolo and all this, what paracetamol, what is taken for fever and vomiting, that should help. Okay, usually we expect it to be less than 24 to 48 hours. So don't worry.
Okay, so one more question. So people on anticoagulants and anti-platelets, is it advisable to them to take it after temporarily stopping their medication for 3 days or more?
Antiplatelets is not a contraindication. Anticoagulants is. Okay, so the question is, what is the indication where it was started? If the person is at a high risk of developing any thrombus in the chest, in the heart patient, then you have to consult the doctor who has started, why it was started, and then stop it. Okay, please don't unknowingly stop that medicines. Yes, once you stop, you have to wait for a few days till your parameters become normal, only then take the vaccine.
Okay, so things are clear, friends. Choices with you. There's no compulsion, and we have hope that Dr. Sanjeev Rao was able to clear almost all the doubts or myths or confusions or queries, whatever you had regarding this vaccination. And still somebody has anything else to be clarified further, sir is available. You have other physicians in the hospital also available for you to clear those things. But as I said earlier in the beginning, this is restricted only to our staff, our Apollo BGS Hospital Mysore staff, and this session is purely keeping their welfare and their health in mind, and their contribution to this organization, growth of this organization, keeping those aspects in mind. We thought of making this session and putting across to you, and hope it's of some usefulness to all of us. ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಇದರಿಂದ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಬಿ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀನಿ. ಇನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದ್ದು ಏನಾದಿದ್ದರೆ ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಐ ಸೆಡ್ ಅದರ್ ಫಿಸಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್. ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಏನೇ ಇದು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 2 days, ನಾಳೆ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನೇಷನ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಾಡಿದ್ದು 2 days government has given a mandate that we should be completing this vaccination drive in our hospital and submitting the report. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you.